God and God's Son Jesus Christ bless you all. Hi all of you fellow Christians and followers of God Jesus Christ God's Son. I try to remember and also remind myself. Being Christian it's mean to be open-eyed and minded. Logical and intuitive. Curious and investigative. Me myself I highly believe that is what Jesus Christ left us through personal example and teachings. Being close-minded. Pipe-visioned. Sheepish and scared of reality and truth. Which truth and reality should be shared. Told. Talked about and screamed from the mountain tops. Today I would like to remind you about science. The terrestrial and astronomical ones. Let's talk astronomical. As we know 50 years ago they sent out 2 space probes, the Voyagers, which are by now how we were told by the edge of our solar system. Picking up all kind of data, from really out of space. And they did this for exploration driven by the fact and the knowledge that the universe is big. Very big. Who really knows, but it is really worth to explore. So considering the vastness of the space, they send out just 2 space probes. I know we can say, hey, they tried. Hey, they are list 2 space probes out. And yes, the point is valid. 2 is more than nothing. Or some can say, well, it is a lot of money. And all this is paid by taxpayers. And that is true too. This is point 1 to be mentioned a little bit later. So now let's see the terrestrial. What is billed from taxpayers' hard-earned money and being kind of really anti-Christic. Anti-Jesus Christ expectations. For and from us. I am talking about military industry products that are dangerous and deadly. Killing things. I heard several times that the 2 bigger powers, they have stashed in silos a number of those highly killer potential and expensive things. The numbers were really high. They were mentioning that each of bigger dogs have 4,000 of this expensive killer machines, in silos and maintained to be hot and ready. This is point 2 now. Now in overview, if this so-called big powers, if they would be logical and wise. In our case let's mention more Christian. With some effort and willingness to embrace what is Christian and Jesus Christ told, expressed and personally shown us. If this so-called superpowers instead to squander taxpayers' money and effort for killing machines. Name is telling all. Only purpose to kill and destroy, spreading death and misery. If they would be use the money and industrial potential. Let me remind you that after each world war, useless killing and human life destroyer events, people highly wanted to keep the peace. They do not wanted more of the Satan only loved and enjoyed macabre reality shows. If they 50 years ago, when memory was more vivid and people evolved, in the useless carnage, instead to build 8,000 missiles between 2 big dogs, they would make space probes. 50 years ago we could have 8,000 Voyagers. Imagine that 8,000s of spaceships in the same number of directions, flying in the universe. We by now could have 8,000 more point of view. Info. Data and pictures. Bigger panoramic view and more details of our big and roundish galaxy. Imagine the vast knowledge from 8,000s of cameras, sensors, microphones, infrared cameras, and so forth. So taxpayers' money and energy could have go towards science and discovery. For us all and future generation. What we have instead: deadly weapons and scare tactics, poverty and submission, secrets and Satanist leaders, whom they have access to a huge variety of killing toys directed close mindlessly and illogical to few hundreds of miles towards other points on this planet, on our small and only Earth. The contrast is clear: 8,000 of probes and eyes in space for study, vs. 8,000 of killing machines directed towards Earth. It is food for those something to think about. What is your opinion? This is what you think Jesus Christ wanted us to face to live our life with? Or a more Christian life, one surrounded in love and freedom? Absolutely none of the 2 points mentioned previously, but in freedom concept where we will not be partial slaves. That's what taxpayers really are. No more money squashed on something that we do not care about. And having full access and control of every penny earned, and hardly worked for. Not being indirectly involved in some things for what we will probably gonna be held responsible and we will need to explain, when time comes, to our Creator God and God's Son God Jesus Christ, why? Why we did, why we allowed. Let's keep talking. Think and make Christian, wise decisions. Satan is in full swing of actions to suppress and oppress us all, individual and in masses, and this is recorded and understand in whole human history. The masses oppression, where tried to be eliminated in the concept of fraternity, equality, and liberty concepts and teachings. One of many is the Constitution, if would be taken seriously and we would apply it in reality. Society as a whole would be less stressed, less oppressed, and that would take away of Satan's power. And yes, if at churches and discussions with fellow Christians and priests, we'll talk and apply the New Testament and Constitution principles, demand from political and clerical representatives, phone calls, emails, postcards with reminders that they should work for us, that's way we call them our representatives, and continuous reminder that the path to follow is God Jesus Christ's path. God and God's Son Jesus Christ, love and blessing be with you all. God and God's Son Jesus Christ bless you all. Hi all of you fellow Christians and followers of God.